Hmm. Hmm.
How is it you always manage to charge in right when I'm drawing a bead?
I get a feed directly from your target. Cultivate
The armory master, then.
Sorry, what? Hmm.
I am a phantom of death.
Come out! Quick! Better unbound! I'm trying to stop my range. What needs grappling? Turn side marked.
Congratulations, you now know what it's like to be a foreigner in Japan. How's it feel?
Our way is clear. Decimus, if you observe the rites of reverence with half the devotion you wield a chainsaw, you would be an exemplar of our chapter. And yet, I find the time for both.
If you would would like to test how your devotion is compared to mine. My blade is ready any time. I am a fan. Stealth ready. Inserting fresh magazine. Grapple launcher set. The stench here is strong, but my wrath is stronger. Feel your packs, brother. What is grappling? Our orders are clear. Advance.
The machines slumber. We will have work to do in here. The Tyranid infestation has spread even to the machines. We must remove it, brothers. This is but the outgrowth. We need to find and remove the spores.
Blessings extended to the sharing the divine blessings of the machine god. Communion with vessel complete. Is the restoration complete?
Open the door.
We are entering the sanctuary of the fortress, Captain Akaran.
Stealth ready. Closing the gap.
Active camouflage charged. I stopped my target.
Damning praise.
Forth into the wind and get in the thick of it.
I am an instrument of the Emperor. I am trained to engage the enemy as he wills. There. That is how we will rise to meet our foes.
For the Emperor! We cannot backtrack. They will come at us from all sides, and we will meet them. Take all you can carry.
It is even. Good.
With this fortress's defensive weapons, we will terminate its existence.
volley.
The console is near. We will unleash the cannon's divine wrath on Hierophant.
Defensive cannons.
I will not do so again.
The server is gone. Depleted. Engage auxiliary generator.
Magazine in.
Enabled. Use the las cannons and punish the invaders. It spews its vileness towards us. We must not get close to its pollution, brothers. See how the filth suff. The abomination targets us with poison. Do not let yourself be sullied by the Xenos' weapons. A pure shot. This is how we burn away the infection. See how the filth suffers. It spews it. Once we activate the auxiliary generators, we shall rouse the las cannons. The abo-
Fire the cannons!
Auspex and Fortress servers gone detected.
A pure shot. This is how we burn away the infection. Our foe nears death. We must complete its elimination.
Gotta love the convenience of the heroic heavy bolt pistol and the heroic Thunderhammer. They're both excellent at CC, um, and they also save you a lot of ammunition and extra damage that you would otherwise be spending into your targets. The fact that the heroic Thunderhammer like leaves behind the shock grenade effect, it's incredible. Deals with minorities very quickly. There's ticking damage and slows down Majoris or um, extremist enemies. Also perfectly stacks with the Bulwark that is running the Thunder build. So, as far as the perks are concerned, we will go with weapons this time. First, we ran Retribution's Bequest, which is the heroic heavy bolt pistol. Right. The reason why we take this is because of its passive. Right. No help is coming when an enemy, Majoris enemy, is calling for reinforcements. One simple headshot will end that call and kill the target straight away. It saves you a lot of ammunition because normally when a Majoris enemy calls for reinforcements, even if you cancel it, the target actually ends up enraged, which restores all of their HP and makes them way more resistant to interruption. So this actually just saves all of that extra ammo and time. As for the perks, we take Headhunter and Adamantine Grip for extra headshot damage and reduced recoil. This weapon kicks like a mule, so every bit helps. Alternatively, if you want to go for the bottom part, it's not bad, but you really shouldn't be using this as like your main weapon because its ammunition is so limited. So you want to get as much damage as you can out of each shot. And it has a huge headshot multiplier, so rapid health, when your HP is below 30%, killing 7 enemies rapidly will restore 10% of that HP. Pretty nifty. Maximum ammo reserve with this weapon increases, as well as extended magazine for the magazine size. It gives you 1 extra bullet, but hey, it counts. Next we take Death Strike. Alright, after killing a Majoris or higher level enemy in melee combat, you deal 25% more damage for 10 seconds. And as the Assault, this is very common since your bread and butter method of fighting is melee. For the next perk, we take Great Might to do more damage against Terminus. Then we head up for Discipline. When you have low ammo, you deal 25% more damage. We go on with Strong Finish for your last round in the magazine, dealing 50% more damage. Quite nifty. We also take Headhunter again. And we finish off with Gunstrike Reload. After a Gunstrike, the weapon is instantly reloaded. So then you wonder, then why would you take Strong Finish? It's simple. You really don't want to be depending on this, but in the times when you end up fighting a ranged-based enemy like a Zoanthrope, this is very valuable to have. On top of which, it's a passive, so it's fine. For our weapon, we are taking the heroic Thunderhammer Storm's Dominion. For its incredible passive, whereby fully charged melee attacks, the big double swing will leave behind a shock grenade effect. This applies to both Aftershock, which is the double slam, as well as the ground pound. When you jet back into the air and you hammer down, this will leave behind a lightning effect. For the perk grid, we take Perpetual Strength, then Fast Preparation, because like I said, it procs off of Aftershock, which is the double swing, right? And this actually helps us prep that. You don't really need this, to be perfectly honest. Just a really small charge will be just fine. Then we take Perpetual Strength again, as well as Perpetual Strength 3. We take 3 of them. Then we do Shattering Impact, where the ground slam area of effect goes up by 50%. We take Seismic Chain. After you do a ground slam, you hold the attack again to do another ground slam. A ground slam is, so basically when you do a normal light hitting melee combo or a running melee attack, holding the mouse click then will do a big overhead smash. That's what the ground slam is. Then we take Perpetual Strength a 4th time for another 5% melee damage. Then we do Aftershock. After hitting an enemy with Aftershock, which is basically standing still and holding charge attack for the double slam, you deal 10% more melee damage for 10 seconds. Kill streak, killing 7 enemies with a light combo in rapid succession will allow you to not lose heavy hits. You don't really notice it, so it's not really that big a deal. Now, when I said the double slam, you need this perk to get that, right? Aftershock improved. Aftershock gains an additional smash. And the double slam allows you to proc double of these little shock grenade effects. Then we continue with Minoris Slayer and Majoris Slayer, because these are the most common enemies you'll smash into. I'd prefer Majoris and Extremis, but it is what it is, because as you can see by this perk grid, Extremis is all the way here, and if we take that, then we'd have to, you know, we'll lose a bit of this. Alternatively, we might look into reformatting the build. We might some other time. Right? It's entirely possible. It might be entirely possible to take the upper portion of the grid and then you come down here and then you resume this way. As for the assault class itself, let's take a look at our perk grid. First things first, armor reinforcement, whereby non-finishing gun strikes, non-lethal gun strikes will restore armor segment. Very, very important versus both Extremis and Terminus enemies. It is the only survivability perk that you have as an assault in general. It's unlocked very deep into the tree, but once you get to it, it is a near mandatory perk unless you are running a block weapon. Next, consecutive execution, whereby killing 7 enemies in rapid succession will restore equipment charge on a 90-second cooldown. If you don't like that, then you can also take defense mechanism, whereby your contested health fades 50% more slowly. They're both very good. This one is easier to track and take control of, but this one is very, very easy to do as an assault, honestly speaking. If you're running with a tactical who always brings the team perk to get secure stockpiles, which gives you back an equipment charge every 60 seconds, then feel free to take defense mechanism. You'll be fine. Knowledge of the enemy increases your melee damage against Majoris and Extremis enemies by 15%. I really shouldn't need to bother explaining why that's important, but yes, very, very good. For the team perk, I love strategic strikes. It allows you to do so much melee damage, and you really do feel it against Terminus enemies in particular. Next, I take precision strike, whereby the ground pound, which is when you jetpack into the air and you hold your charge attack and you slam down, will do 100% more damage, but its radius is reduced by 50%. Double the damage, half the radius. I take this because it allows you to single out Majoris, Extremis, and Extremis enemies and eliminate them very, very quickly, or at least put them into execute range. Also, you notice the impact of this on Terminus. Alternatively, taking Smiting Angel is also equally just as good. You know? And the reason why you'll take this one is because it allows you to maintain that wide radius, which means you can not only damage the Majoris or Extremis enemies, but you'll more than likely kill the Minoris around them. And why would that be good? Because the next pick is Zealous Blow, whereby a ground pound kill restores your jetpack's charge by 10%. And that includes any unintentional kills. Unintentional. When you're doing your slam on your main target, any other target you kill, you get your charge back. Then we do Diligence, whereby a fully prepared ground pound takes 20% longer. 25% longer, but does 20% more damage. Just an overall decent ability. This is another one. Alternatively, you can do this after a finisher. Your ground pound deals 25% more damage for 10 seconds. Another decent choice. Right. And as for the signature perk, we take Ample Ammunition. After you use your jetpack, you reload your weapon, and it does 50% more damage for 10 seconds. For the prestige perks, I will always recommend Unyielding Oath first. Take this immediately, right? Prestige 1, right? When you are charging your ground pound in the air, you're invulnerable for 3 seconds. Very, very important. Next one, I take Adrenaline Boost, whereby a perfectly timed dodge, parry, or block. You won't lose control, and you cannot be knocked back. It's not entirely true, but, you know, it does work for the most part. And the third one, as you can see here, Duelist, where your perfect parry and block windows are increased by 25%. So in other words, the first starting 3 options that you have, I literally take them in that order. 1, 2, and 3. After that, whichever one you want to take as your fourth one is entirely up to you. I tend to go with Fortitude for the 15% extra HP, but if you were to take Scramble Targeting, that's fine. You know, being surrounded by 5 or more enemies, you take 20% less range damage. That's a passive effect, and it's very good. Practice Aim, where your range damage increases by 50%, is decent. Best if you're using a plasma pistol or a regular heavy bolt pistol. Then Commendation, reviving a squad member fully restores jump X charge on all armor segments. Not really that important, so I wouldn't recommend it. But yep, these are the 4 that I take, and I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Thank you very much for supporting. Have a safe time, and remember, as always,